the basketball capital of the world.
The UConn men's and women's basketball teams both playing in the Final Four this weekend.
It's special. It doesn't feel real.
All of Connecticut is behind them, so we're really excited about it.
We appreciate the fans, and we're trying to get them number 6.
The men trying to defend their title.
It's time to repeat, baby. We got work to do.
I can't wait to go back to back.
The women overcoming obstacles.
People truly didn't believe in us. It feels good to prove them wrong.
Both teams trying to repeat history.
The men and women won it together in 2004. They won it in 2014, and 10 years later again in 2024. Let's hope.
Nothing beats an national championship.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our UConn basketball special March to a Championship. I'm John Pearson in Glendale, Arizona, with the UConn men's basketball team as they get ready for their Final Four matchup with Alabama here at State Farm Stadium. All 4 teams ready to go here. And, of course, the UConn women, they've got a big one tonight out in Cleveland. Both teams looking to do it again, win national championships in the same year, 2004, 2014, and 2024. Can they do it for a third time? First things first, the big story tonight is the UConn women as they take on Iowa, and that's where we find our Eric Dobratz for more on that game. Eric?
Hey, thanks so much, John. Yeah, we're here in Cleveland, Ohio, about 38 degrees. We're standing right outside the Cleveland Guardians baseball stadium. But again, we are here for basketball. The first game in the national semifinal between NC State and South Carolina tipped off a few minutes ago. UConn and Iowa, led by Caitlin Clark, will tip off right around 9:30. Listen, basketball fans all over the globe are getting psyched up for this game that will tip off again in just a couple of hours. Caitlin Clark, the record-setting scorer, leading the Hawkeyes back to the Final Four. You know, she's a lot like the Golden State Warriors' Steph Curry, can score from anywhere. She can drop 40 points on you before you blink. For UConn, it's Paige Beckers, finally healthy after a couple years filled with nagging injuries, knee surgeries. Beckers is playing her best basketball since her first year in stores. Both of these prolific players are a lot alike on and off the court.
I think she's just a competitor. She wants to win. She has just intangibles of the game. She knows how to play, a great IQ. But I think the biggest thing about her is she competes, and she's just a winner. She wants to win at all costs. And so I know going into that, it'll be a great matchup. But I'm excited. It's great for the game, and to be at this level on this high of stakes, to see where we were in AAU competing against each other. It's just really cool to see.
The way she carries herself on and off the court, the way she works hard, and none of that has changed, you know, since I've known her since she was in middle school. She's always worked that same way. She's always had that fire. She's always been a great leader, and you know, I really honestly couldn't be happier for her in the year that she's had, and you know, the way she's led this team back to the Final Four when they've kind of been dealt a tough hand as a program, and they never made excuses. And to me, I think that's something, you know, you just really admire as a competitor more than anything. So I think it's really cool.
And here's a look at the women's path to the Final Four. How'd they get here? Well, they beat Jackson State in the first round in stores, and then a much closer win against Syracuse in round 2. Then across the country to the Portland, Oregon Regional, beating 7-seed Duke in the Sweet 16 and the 1-seed USC in the Elite 8. As I mentioned here, we're in chilly Cleveland, but John Pearson has a plum assignment in nice and warm Arizona, John.
Yeah, Eric, but we got a little backwards. I'm inside, and it's warm here. I should be outside, but we're inside the stadium. You should get inside, too, pretty soon to watch that game. Hey, the UConn men back in the Final Four, 7th time in program history, looking for a 6th national championship, and they are all business. They are locked in, looking to repeat. Huskies took the floor this afternoon at State Farm Arena. They just got off around 10 of 6. They had a light practice here after a full practice earlier in the day. Dan Hurley and his staff ran them through a defensive practice, getting ready for an Alabama team that can score a lot of points, averaging about 90 points a game. They can hit a lot of threes. They don't play great defense, so will UConn's defense and UConn's high-powered offense be enough to take out the Crimson Tide? We will see tomorrow night. Talk to Tristan Newton and some of the other players about being back here. Newton was here last year at the Final Four with the Huskies. Does this year feel any different?
You know, we expected to be here this year, so it's not the same, excitement and joy that we had last year. Last year we were, it was the first time thing, coming back is, obviously it feels good, but, we expected to be here, and I feel like the excitement won't come until after we win what we're trying to win.
I think trying to overthink too much about the moment, I think that's the one thing that you don't want to do in this situation is really change who you are, change what you've done so far, and I think you just can't overthink everything. I know 75,000 people are going to be watching us tomorrow in person, so you can't overthink that. You just got to stay who you are and stay true to what you've done so far.
I mean, right now I'm doing all right, but I mean, when the game's first about to jump off, I might be a little nervous, but after the first possession, I'll be fine. But I mean, it's kind of easy for me to lock into games like this, especially when we have so much on the line.
And a trip to the national championship game is on the line. UConn and Alabama have met twice before in program history. UConn has won both of those, including a game last year at the Phil Knight Invitational. Now let's take a look at UConn's path here to the tournament. They are rolling along. They're doing what the UConn women used to do back in the day, beating people and beating them soundly in the tournament. Stetson, Northwestern, San Diego State, which is a repeat of last year's national championship game, and then Illinois. They won those games by a combined point total of about 28 points per game. They are on a serious roll, a freight train running down the tracks right now. They'll try to look to keep it going tomorrow. A big part of the team's success is the family atmosphere around this UConn men's basketball program. It started way back with Jim Calhoun. He really got everyone close and tight, and with Dan Hurley in town, it seems to have ramped up the culture here and the way the family atmosphere permeates the whole thing. This team is comfortable dancing anywhere, and everyone's included, big and small.
It's really like one big family. It's just such a family in the way that, I don't know, it's just like everyone's together, everyone loves each other.
Dan Hurley and his staff have cultivated a culture of togetherness. From the players, coaches, families, and support staff right down to the kids. Everyone in the circle plays a part.
For me, coming here and just feeling that love from the first day, kind of made the basketball part easy.
No one is left out. We all do everything for each other.
Samson Johnson is the furthest Husky from home. It's over 5,000 miles from Togo, Africa to Connecticut. But Storrs has become a safe place for him, the culture wrapping its arms around the 6'10" forward.
Sometimes, I feel a little bit homesick, but, when I see my brothers and, my teammates, the coaches, the coaching staff, everyone that's around, I feel at home.
Us always being together, that's kind of forced everybody to kind of mesh and, just kind of have each other's backs.
Donovan Klingen used to dream of being part of the UConn family. Now he's one of the guys playing the role of big brother. Even the little ones like to take their best shots at one of the country's top big guys. And you guys are like built-in babysitters. There's always someone carrying someone's kid.
Yeah, I mean, Luke's kids, Luke Jr. and Cash, they're always running around. I call them madmen, and they always find their way everywhere. Yeah, I love it.
Those are like my little brothers running around, always rubbing their head or something, playing around with them. So, all the players on the team love them, love the coaches, like their own fathers.
Like I said, it's like one big family. Everyone's just always around, and it's special. I love this place, man.
And that family vibe isn't exclusive to the men's program. It's also in the women's program as well, thanks to Gene Oriam and his staff. And for more on the Hall of Famer, let's head back to Eric in Cleveland. Eric?
Yeah, John, this is 39th year as the head coach, 23rd Final Four. For a long time, Gino was a villain in this tournament, but I don't think that's the case so much anymore.
There's a lot of people that hope we lose by 100, and there's a lot of people that hope we win by 100. There are some people that are going to watch us for the very first time and say, what's the big deal about these people? And hopefully they see that we play basketball a certain way and that we try to conduct ourselves a certain way, and that our game looks a certain way. We are who we are, and we compete, and what you think of us or what your impression of us is, I have no control over that. But one thing that I've noticed over the years that's happened, when people see us play for the very first time, two things happen. One, they fall in love with all my players, because of the way they play and the way they conduct themselves. And they go, yeah, he really is a And I remember one time somebody asked one of the coaches before the NCAA tournament, do you have a preference of who's going to win, who you want to win the NCAA tournament? And it's a long-time coach, too, and they said, I don't care as long as it's not Tennessee or Connecticut. And I like how all these other coaches are getting a ton of attention and a lot of pressure being put on them to have to win. You know, they always thought I had it easy. Well, now they realize, you know, they wish they could go back to being anonymous, you know, and so I'm kind of relishing this.
Coach Auriemma loves these big games and this event. We're just getting started here on March to a Championship. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to March to a Championship. You know, the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse should be pretty loud tonight, but it's not the only venue in town that'll be rocking. I'm not talking about the baseball stadium or the football stadium. I'm talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Some of the loudest voices in rock and roll are plastered on these walls. It's one of the top tourist spots in town, Cleveland's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Mick Jagger's voice not the only one you can hear in the exhibits. UConn fans from all over Connecticut made their way here to check out the birthplace of rock and roll.
It's been great, and we're going to win tonight. Go Huskies!
And you're here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Need something to do. What do you think of this place?
This is awesome. It's so much to see, and so it's great things. We keep going around buying stuff.
I think we're going to be victorious tonight. We're going to party like there's no tomorrow. And we're going to get ready for South Carolina.
Jennifer Gallipalt grew up a huge UConn fan. She's been following this team for decades.
I've been a UConn fan since I was 10 years old. I remember seeing Rebecca Lobo play all the way back, I won't give my age, in the day. And it was the only place you could go in the 90s as a woman who loved basketball and have that much love for the game.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame opened in 1995, and right now they're going through a 50,000 square foot expansion. It'll provide 40% more exhibit space and a concert venue.
The Hall of Fame is incredible. If you're coming to Cleveland for the solar eclipse or for the Final Four, you got to stop by. We have our most expanded hours, so there's a really great opportunity to come here anytime between games, between adventures, all sorts of stuff. But if you're going to come, you get to come learn about music, you get to experience music. Music is something that ties us all together.
And the UConn fans we talked to hope they're all together for at least a couple more days, rocking and rolling to another championship.
I am obviously a Paige Beckers fan, so I'm thrilled about this battle, and I feel like I know how it's going to turn out, but I'm ready for the rest of the world to see the outcome as well.
The UConn women hope to make history on their sport's biggest stage tonight, and Tristan Newton and the Huskies will take center stage tomorrow night.
Yeah, Eric, and Tristan is one of the guys who has really rocked for this Husky team the last couple of years. He's an All-American and national champ, looking to add another one this year. And that winning attitude, that big game ability seems to be in his bloodlines.
Tristan Newton plays with a quiet confidence and ease, gliding up and down the court, in control but always ready to strike.
I've been playing like that my whole life, honestly. I was playing against older, faster guys, so I had to figure out a way to, score, and that was just, play at your own speed, don't have to get sped up. That's what my dad always told me. And my brother, I play him one-on-one a lot, so, without playing him one-on-one, he helped me get a lot better.
Elite athleticism is a family trait, from the basketball-playing Newton brothers to their football-playing cousins, the Jones boys. NFL star Aaron Jones says he gets more joy sometimes out of watching his little cousin Tristan succeed.
100%, and then especially as an athlete, I feel like I'm in the game, with them as I'm watching them play. So I feel like a little more attached to the game.
He always tells me he's proud of me. He's been at the biggest stage, and he's helped me throughout the process of life, what to expect. And he's just been a great support system.
To see him at this stage, succeeding, his teammates succeeding, and all of them being successful and playing team ball is special.
The family support for Newton is pretty special too. They're always there for the big events. Competitiveness is also in the family. Which side has the better athletes?
We never played one-on-one because he was always playing football, and then, but if we ever played one-on-one, me and my brother would definitely beat them. So he knows that already too.
I don't know about that. We can still play them today. We'll still take them.
Hey, those family picnics must be a lot of fun. Here's some of the awards that Tristan Newton has either won or been up for this year. He has been a real key to this Husky success. Now we're getting ready for the big game in Cleveland. The UConn women taking on Iowa. We'll be back with more on that in our UConn special, March to a Championship. Welcome back to Glendale, Arizona, where the Huskies are getting ready for their Final Four matchup with Alabama on Saturday. Joining us now, the voice of the Huskies for many, many years, Wayne Norman. How many years, Wayne?
43, John.
How's that possible? You're only in your 30s.
Well, I've counted a couple of years twice, but every Final Four, I've been there. It's been a great ride.
Well, let's talk about this team in particular. I know there's still some work to be done, but where do you rank this team among the UConn greats?
Well, the legacy is not complete yet. If this team can win 2 more games, meaning here in the Final Four, I think you've got a legitimate argument to put them as number 1 all time. Last year was pretty good too. I think 99 and 04 were pretty good, but this team is, with the dominant wins, I think they'd be number 1.
All right, what do they have to do Saturday night to take out the Tide?
Well, I think number 1, 3-point defense, because Alabama's a club that takes and makes a lot of 3-pointers. And conversely, UConn's got to make threes, which they've done quite well this year. Guys like Spencer and Caravan and the like, even Newton at times. But they've only made 3 threes in 2 of the last 3 games. Those threes have got to find the range in this game. But this team also has a way to find other ways to beat you. Look at the 30-0 run against Illinois in the Elite Eight. I mean, it's one thing to score 32 straight against New Hampshire in 1990 at Gampel. This is the Elite Eight. What they did in that game, that run was phenomenal.
What does your gut tell you about Saturday and potentially Monday? Can they get the job done? You've been around them all year long.
I certainly think they can, because they've got so many answers both inside and outside.
All right, that's it from here. How about Bob Joyce? He's pretty good. He's a radio legend like you.
Yeah, in fact, he's done the women's games over 20 years now, and we're going to see if he can bring it home with Deb Fisk on the radio tonight.
Well, Eric Dobratz is in Cleveland with Bob. Let's send it out to Eric.
All right, we're here at the Final Four in Cleveland, Ohio with Bob Joyce, the voice of the Huskies. 17th Final Four. How did that happen?
They kept coming here. I mean, this is 15 of the last 16. I didn't know what to do with myself last year.
Well, let's talk about them getting here this year. Of all the Final Fours, is this the one that most people didn't expect, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. The only one that I can compare this to would be 91, the very first one. I mean, look, they have Paige and Aaliyah, and you know there's always a chance. But there were so many variables that just you had to question, do they have enough gas in the tank? How are the freshmen going to react to this? How's Nika going to play? And it's all added up pretty well. And funny, their dirty little secret known as their defense has been a big part of the reason why they're here once again.
And they're going to need that against Caitlin Clark. Just tell me, how do you stop her? What have you seen from her?
I don't know if you stop her. I think the thing is you can't let Kate Martin go off. You can't let Hannah Stokey go off. I think Aaliyah's got a big advantage in the post. I think that's going to be big. If UConn can keep Iowa in the 70s, like 70 to 75, I like their chances. If they can get a lead the way they have in recent games and hang on to it, I think they're in good shape. But I don't know if you can contain Caitlin. Maybe you stop her from going left with that ridiculous 3, because I know she likes to do that, and Nika's going to have that assignment.
Listen, we're here with Diana, with Maya, with Brianna. This Caitlin Clark stuff is old hat to us, right? But how do you think she stacks up? I mean, is this national phenomenon she is something we've seen in Connecticut before?
Yes, maybe not to the point of 30 points a game, but look, Diana 2003, 2004, Cheryl Swoops in the early 90s with Texas Tech. Yeah, it's that same type of thing with Caitlin Clark. I mean, in a sense, Paige is kind of doing the same thing, too. Yes, she has Aaliyah Edwards and Nika Mule, but Paige is in that same boat, maybe with not the flash and dash that Caitlin has. But, yeah, I mean, the game is so much better now than it was. But when you're comparing what Caitlin's done to like what Diana and Cheryl Swoops have done, that's pretty high praise.
You think we'll be here Sunday watching a national championship game?
Yes, I think we will. They're going to find a way. I mean, as Aaliyah says, not done yet. Let's hope we see Sunday.
Wayne Norman and Bob Joyce, two of the best on the radio. We're just getting started here on March to a Championship. Stick around.
Back live in Glendale, Arizona, where tomorrow a lot of eyes will be on UConn and Alabama in their Final Four matchup. And Donovan Clingan sure to get a lot of attention, and rightfully so. But it's another Bristol kid getting some attention this year as well. Andre Johnson Jr. scored his first career points in the NCAA tournament, and he's also doubled a bit as a TV reporter.
This is Andre Johnson here with UConn basketball, and I'm with Tristan Newton. If you were a 2K player, what would your build be?
A two-way floor spacing, slashing floor general.
What overall?
99, what?
Okay.
I'd probably be like a post scorer, like a small forward post scorer.
I'm with Hassani, a 6 man of the year. If you could wear one sneaker for the rest of your basketball career, what would it be?
It would be Kobe's.
As a head coach, what would your message be to your team entering the tournament?
Defense.
Okay. I need your top 3 college players ever. Ever.
No order, though. No order. Oh, all right. Zion got to be in there.
Pete Maravich. Got to go with him.
Kimba, because we at UConn, so got to have Kimba in there.
Luke Murray right here. Manifesting into the future.
3.
Jimmer, for that, I'm going to answer for you. I think he wants to answer a question. What's your favorite March Madness moment ever?
Last year's national championship.
Good answer. That's a good answer. Why do you wear number 33?
Because of Great Alexander.
Alexander the Great. If there's one place you could make the national championship in the whole world, where would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to go overseas with it. I'm going to Bora Bora, bro.
That's a nice one.
How do you like being a reporter?
It's amazing. I admire your job.
Andre Johnson already had his second assignment. He was in the locker room today asking his teammates to make faces like this of Dan Hurley. We'll have more on that coming up later this week. That's a story from here. Eric?
It's a special time for UConn basketball. Enjoy the games, everyone. Thanks for watching.